Okay, if we find there's an oil leak coming from this area, what we're going to do is remove this little, I call it a tuning fork. We're going to remove that. We're going to loosen that screw, that set screw. If you need to, you can even mark this with a marker or something so you make sure you put the screw back in the same place. And then up the shaft, we're going to loosen this collar, which is normally in a position about like this right now. Just loosen it so it can turn freely. Leave the handle on the shaft because we're going to use that to help take the pin out. But the goal is to back out that stem and change the O-ring. Okay. Then basically take the handle, turn the handle counterclockwise in this direction until you see this back out all the way, and we end up with this stem. And right there is the O-ring that we're trying to get. Right in the middle of that little flat area. That's the O-ring. Now you want to try to take it out to where it doesn't break it if possible. Just in case you were to have a problem, at least you have a backup. And then basically pop that one off or cut it off and slide another O-ring from the bottom up. Alright, take like a toothpick, probably something metal would be better, and put it kind of under. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, in this case we use something that's about like a metal toothpick to pry in up under the O-ring. And as you can see, it's sticking out this other side, and then you should be able to roll it off. Roll it off of the, well, it's there. It's a little tricky to get off, but just keep working it till you get it off and try not to break it. Get it out, you're gonna have an O-ring like this. If for some reason you ever have to replace this, these O-rings are available like at True Values, just about any regular hardware store, maybe in their faucet sections. If it tends to regularly leak, go to a fatter rubber. In other words, it needs to be the same size, but the rubber itself, it looks like it's a fatter rubber band. Hang on. Get it to slip over it. I hope they got that O-ring on right, that other one right. I wonder how much they'll stretch. There you go. Okay. All right. So what we did was we took some Scotch tape, or like you'd use for packing gifts or whatever, and we put it over the threads and over this little end place, because if you don't, that O-ring is going to catch right there and won't be in the right place. We got to make sure it's in that groove, not at the threads. And then so we put the tape around everything else, kind of pointed it off a little bit, stretched that O-ring out, and then just pushed it up and dropped it on. You stretch it out about the same way you do with your rubber bands when you're working with them for your dog bows. Then of course, take this off, and then we'll reinstall. So this is the way the O-ring should look when you're through with it. You want it to be in this groove and not this one forward of it, or it's going to leak. Once you have that in place, it's ready to reseat back in the hole. Okay. And pull it up, then reinsert to line it up. Once it's sitting in it like this, then you can take it and just turn the handle, but you want to try to keep this straight as possible, so it's going to take a little work to do that. Let's put this back up here out of the way. Okay, with your finger guiding it to help line it up, and then turn it with the big handle until it gets started. You want to make sure you don't cross it like I just almost did there. So we're going to back up a little bit and drop her in. Okay, all right, she's lined up. We're going to turn it, and I just did it again. Go ahead and turn it. Okay, and then just turn it until it's snug, and then you're going to replace the little clamp, put the plate back on, put the screw back on. I just hand tighten it quick, and then put the wrench on it to tighten it down. What this does, it keeps you from accidentally running this out when you're working with the table. But in all actuality, that's what these do too. It keeps you from being able to turn it too far. So once you get that tight, you're good to go.